Hello. Today I'd like to demonstrate for you QCloud security audit for JD Edwards. Once you've completed your audit using the agent, you can log into the portal using the given username and password that we supply with you. And the first thing you're presented with here is the dashboard. The dashboard is broken down into three separate areas. The first area is scoring. With QCloud Security Audit, we have come up with a way to score your audit based on four different areas: fraud, manageability, data integrity, and performance. Now, obviously, these are gauges, so 1 would be best, 3 would be worst, and we grade the color based on your score. So green is good. As you get towards red, you got to start looking at stuff. Now these roll up into your overall score for your entire audit. Below that, the next level are KPIs. These KPIs show you some quick, interesting information about your specific audit. I'm going to pick on violated object-to-object users here. So you can click on these and see the top 10 violated users for that specific KPI. This is how you really start looking at your audit results and go to remediate the actual security issues. Now below that, this next section is your security history. This shows over time how your scoring has either improved or gotten worse, or in this case, with this example, is all over the place. But the dashboard is a really good way to start looking into the results of your audit. What I'm going to show next is our SOD. With the QCloud, we have a very rich set of SOD rules. Now these are comprised of a lot of work over a number of years with the Big Four and a lot of customers. And we have in our system today 140 rules and then 10 single risk. Now this whole section of the audit is where you can take this template that we provide and customize it based on your business need. So this is a great starting point. A lot of customers that we deal with will turn some of these on or off, or they will augment them and drill in and change the actual rule itself based on the objects within JD Edwards that they want to put in. And especially it comes into play when you're doing customizations to JD Edwards. And a lot of customers will take these rules, you can copy them, you can export them, manipulate them, upload them again, etc. Now once the audit's run again, obviously you saw the dashboard, but what you'll want to do after you look through the dashboard is come in and start actually looking through the different sections of the audit results. Our audit is really broken down into these four sections: general security, data security, critical master data, and SOD rules. The first two sections, general security and data security, are really good for general cleanup. You can see we have quite a few metrics here that allow you to see the state of your security within JD Edwards. In this case, this example has 111 users, and all of these, as you notice as I'm hovering over them, anything that's hoverable will underline, and then you can click on them. So I'm going to take an example of number of inactive users assigned to roles. You can click on that and see the actual counts and the actual users that are inactive that are assigned to roles. And this is where you start doing your cleanup. Another key indicator is the number of rows in your security workbench. In this case, this represents how many rows are in your F00950 table. This is important, and it aligns very well with the next section, which is data security, because if you have too many rows in your F00950, you potentially could cause performance issues within your JD Edwards system. And the data security section in specific goes through and shows you how your row and column security are set up. If you have too much row and column security, again, you will have a lot of performance issues within your JD Edwards system. So these first two sections are really for a good cleanup of your security. Next section here is critical master data. Again, we come out with 10. This is an example of a run against those 10. For example, this is an area where you can set up applications that will potentially cause fraud in your system. Again, I'm going to pick on a specific one here, and this is Business Unit Master. You can see that almost 30% of the users have access to this specific application. The nice thing here is you can then open that up and see which users have access to that application. You can open that user up, drill in, and actually see which role they've been granted that causes them to have this specific type of security for add, change, delete, and also run within JD Edwards. Now, it's possible that they may want to have that security, but at least you're seeing it right at your fingertips within the UI. And you can either remediate, meaning change in the JD Edwards system, or you can mitigate, which I'll show you in a minute. So that's critical master data. The next area is SOD. Again, we have a rich set. In this example, I ran it against about 10 rules, and you can see the ones within violation here. I'm going to pick on depositing cash and reconciling bank statements. So what this means is that these users can do both of the sides of this equation. And I'm going to pick on this user, AR user 2. And if I open this up, you can see that they've been assigned the role of AR clerk, which gives them access to all of these applications and these UBEs within JD Edwards. And it then shows you the very specific security that's being granted to them in that role. Again, this is where you either remediate, meaning going back into the JD Edwards application and change it, or you mitigate, meaning you provide a rule that says, this person is okay to do that so that the subsequent audits will not pick that person up. So those are the 4 sections. I mentioned mitigations. We can mitigate based on critical master data and SOD rules. And what this allows you to do is, say you want these 2 users to be able to have access to that specific application. You can mitigate them, and you can set up dates and times as to when they have access versus not have access, as well as comments to show to the auditors why you're choosing to let them do those specific actions. So that's the user interface with QCloud. Very easy to use, very straightforward. And the other thing that's very nice about it is, for the auditors, we also produce reports. And the reports are handy because, as we know, auditors like to see Excel spreadsheets. And this is your plan of storage for all of the audit information. So these are the ones we generate. There are some JD Edwards reports as well as our Excel spreadsheet with all of the data. In addition, there are some times when auditors would like to add extra information to an audit. So accompanying documentation for when they complete their audit. And this allows you to upload that information into the QCloud. So real quick, what I want to show you last is we do, like I said, create an Excel spreadsheet that shows you the same exact data in Excel format that you see in the UI, so that you can do sorting and filtering and be able to look at the exact output of all the violations, so that you can then give them out to the different areas of the business so that they can then go and either remediate or set up the correct mitigations. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for your time.